Happy New Year, folks. It's a new year. That's right. It's my name day today, and I'm celebrating it in the orchard next to my apricot tree. Now, this is the one I put a netting on, and I think the apricots are ready. I've had a couple that's fallen to the ground. Let's go inside and have a look and see what's going on. Come through. We're in the little netting hut here. Now, these things here have copped a beating from the weather. Look at this. Look at this. That's not even a bird. That's splitting. And this happens with a lot of fruit. They'll split open when you get a high level of rainfall coming through and then drying out real quick. So it causes the plant to take up all this excess moisture that it doesn't need it, but it's getting it, and then it splits open. And now the bigger problem with that is then you go into a sudden heat wave like 30 degrees, and we've had a couple of those fluctuating days from 15 with heavy rain continuously and then straight into a hot sunny day and high wind. And this is an example of that. Look at that. Peeling. It's split open, air's gotten inside, then with the high wind it's dried the tip of the skin of the fruit, and slowly but surely as it gets hotter each day, or hot and cold, it starts to rot it out. Now that is a very, very sad case, and I know many of you have copped a very similar situation. This is its first year in fruiting. I haven't picked fruit off this before. Every single fruit, some not as bad as others, but when you see things like that, you can eat them, folks. Don't discard them, don't throw them out. Eat them. Just have a nice little knife with you, a sharp little knife with you. Cut away, take the pip out. Do I need to tell you how to eat an apricot? I don't think so, but the concerns I have is that if this weather keeps doing what it's doing to us, fruit like apricot, peaches, nectarines, even oranges, and even, not lemons, maybe mandarins. I've seen mandarins and kumquats split, but not lemons. When this happens, there's not a hell of a lot you can do, folks, and you don't want to pick them off early. You really just want to hope for the weather to behave itself. When they start cracking open like that, here's another one for you to have a look at. So these symptoms here, this is when you should start harvesting them. That's soft and tender on that side there. Half twist, and it comes straight off. And see the browning off? Well, it's like when you're getting a suntan, you're burning off a little bit there, a little bit of freckle going on, nothing too bad. And look, this is edible as it is there. There's no, well, I can't see anything bad going on in there. Can you? No. So sweet. So sweet. There's not a lot you can do, folks. And I know black grit does help with making the fruit a lot more pliable, meaning more flexible in the skin so it doesn't split. But when you get this amount of rain coming through, it's really difficult to control it, and there's not much. You don't want to be adding more and more black grit. Black grit will work over time, but it's just been radically wet and dry, then wet and dry. So if you've got apricot trees, don't leave them on the tree because they'll rot and they can start developing a bacteria on them. You don't want that happening. Clear the tree, give it a light tip prune if you need to. This is a small tree, it really doesn't need it. Maybe just on the tips. Collect your apricots, make some jam if you like. There's so many different ways, or a chutney. I think they make chutney out of it, or a relish, something like that. Apricot and pick another fruit, blend them together and keep them and cut them out. Things like that, don't worry about it. Cut them out, don't throw them out, because it'll be a sad day if you spend a whole year trying to grow your apricot and they go to waste like this and you don't bother harvesting them. So next time, as the weather starts to become nasty again and our trees start to ripen, make sure you've given them a good feed and hopefully they don't split as bad. Unfortunately, my ones, well, they all have been cooked. Look at that. That's nasty. Folks, so if you're celebrating New Year in your gardens, well, celebrate it with some fresh produce out of your garden like this stuff here. Apricots and whatever else is ready to harvest. Share it with your family and friends. There's nothing better that's coming straight out of your garden and with your family and friends to enjoy in the tummy. From me, Vasily, Maresi.